Welcome in. Welcome in, my friends, to another Creator CTO live stream. Today is Monday, April 27th, and we are back. I'm JL Garofalo, and we're going to build some AI skills today using Claude code, or I guess just Claude. I get a little confused there sometimes, or maybe I just say Claude code all the time. We're going to use Claude, and we're going to make some content creation skills that help us become super powered in content creation. Content creation process takes forever, so many steps. It's a lot to do, so many decisions. And so we're going to build live together some different skills. We're going to have Claude build some different skills. We're going to learn about AI skills while we're here for the next 40 minutes or so. If you remember, if you joined us the last couple streams that we did this last week, this is part of a series. This is maybe like the third live stream that we've been working on AI skills for content creation. And so we previously worked on a setup live stream skill, which I used for this very live stream to help cut down on those set of processes or the set of decisions you got to make whenever you got a live stream to set up. You know, I'm now moving into a schedule where I'm likely to be doing 2 live streams every day across different channels, one for my fantasy football channel, one for this channel. And in doing that, it's a lot of operational work to set up these live streams. And so it wasn't perfect when I used it for this one. It didn't, the main area where it was kind of falling off was that it didn't have the brand information. It didn't already know about me, this channel, and the types of brand or the types of live streams that we do on this channel. So I had to feed it a little bit more info, but because Claude is such a freaking genius, it doesn't matter. He just asked. And so I just had to reiterate some of that stuff. So we'll see what we spend time on today. If we're going to spend time tweaking that, we might go back to that. But I want to go back to our list of potential problems or potential tasks that we could build out, that we could turn into skills. And I want to get back into that ideating, because that's the fun part. We're trying to become super powered, trying to make Claude do the hard work so that we can just sit back and do the creative part, right? We don't want Claude to take over the creative part. The creative part is important, but we don't want to have to write out our social media links every freaking time we do a live stream. We don't want to have to paraphrase the video or paraphrase the description or whatever the live stream is going to be about in the description. We don't even want to have to do chapters, which takes forever. Once you do a live stream, then you got to go back and add these little markers in there so people watching can find their way easily. So these are all areas where we could apply an AI skill to, a Claude skill to, and we might. This is a collaborative session. So if you got areas of your workflow that you want to figure out how to automate using an AI skill, throw it in the chat. We will, maybe it'll overlap with what we're trying to do here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my screen so that you can see this. I think it's so freaking big. Get out of here. Okay, screen time. Long John Silver's. Okay, that's what I named that layout for some reason. Oh, and I had this pulled up. This is from Anthropic. This is the complete guide to building skills for cloud. Introduction, fundamentals, planning and design, testing and iteration, distribution and sharing, patterns and troubleshooting. This is the guide, it seems like. Let's see if it's got anything interesting in here for us. Bot teaches you how to handle, we know all this. We learned this in the previous one. They let you automate specific tasks of your workflow or define the workflow so that you can automate the entire workflow. So things that are repeatable, generating front-end designs from specs, conducting research with consistent methodology, creating documents that follow your team's style guide, or orchestrating multi-step processes. They work well with Claude's built-in capabilities. So it's able to execute code. This is important. Execute code and document creation, which is different from maybe your normal Claude type of instance, that's or your normal ChatGPT chatbot. You can hand it files like I've tried to make ChatGPT make thumbnails for this channel in the past, and every single message you have to pass it in the image especially if you have any sort of setting, like you don't have the right settings set up to where it's remembering all across your combos, then you got to keep giving it this info every time. It's a nightmare. It's not that much easier. It's a little bit easier than doing it from scratch, but it's not that much easier. And it's definitely filled with more headaches. So we want to take pieces of this that are easy. That makes no sense. Let's see. What is this? MCP. What is an MCP? MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's basically a way that you can share info with Claude. Build standalone skills without MCP, skip to planning, and always. So this might be something if you have like a system already set up. For instance, I was talking to a business owner who's owner of a moving company, and they already have an existing CRM that they use in order to facilitate their moving business. And so this might be a situation where you set up an MCP and you so that the skill can have access to it. Or like the situation I just brought up, the live stream. Maybe we set up an MCP server that passes in all of the information around the channel, like the channel's videos, the channel's previous videos or branding guidelines, those sorts of things. MCP might be a little overkill for that use case. We could probably just pass it the documents itself, at least for like our specific brand. There's not that much, but you get the idea, just as an example. All right, this is kind of boring, this PDF stuff. This is cool, but as we saw in the previous ones, we have the skill of building skills. It's already built into Claude. You just have to say skill builder, and it does it for you. It's amazing. Let me pull up this list that we had from before. Okay, so here's the list that a rough list that we've been coming up with in previous, in the stream last week. And so we worked on generating a title for a YouTube video. We worked on the setup live stream. I think, what was the other one we worked on? Oh, I remember now. It was transcript to clips. So we've essentially worked on 2 use cases going from messages. I was thinking of ideas. I think we might already have this in here, but I don't remember. Finding clips from a long form live stream transcript. Finding shareable clips. Finding shareable clips from a long. Okay, so that was our first skill. I think it was called. I think we called it Clip Finder. And then we also had a generate YouTube metadata. This is kind of right. This is really, yeah, for a live stream. It was a live stream specific. It wasn't a video one. And so these sub ones are actually maybe useful for us to go in and create like sub skills for, just so that the higher level skill of like setting up a live stream, well, that really it can be decomposed into a couple subtasks, right? You have to come up with the concept first, or you pass it the concept or notion of the video, and then you need to work through a title, a YouTube title that's going to convert. You got to work through the thumbnail. The description is really the third. It's the least important of those 2. The title and thumbnail is the packaging. It's what matters. And you might already know some of this stuff. I'm talking through it so that we can think through how we're going to set up these skills to get the best quality output and save the most time. So one situation where I didn't give it instructions on how to make a good YouTube video. That may have been generated in the setup live stream skill, and we can actually pull that up. We pull up Cloud here. Cloud, Mr. Cloud. All right, so we go to customize in the Cloud desktop app and create new skills. What is this? Skills. Connectors. Connectors are like the MCP server that we were talking about before. And welcome in, chat. Welcome in. Thanks for joining. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the new YouTube channel, Creator CTO. It's where I'm streaming on right now, as well as this my own personal X account. But if you're enjoying this, do me a favor and share this channel with one person who you think will like it. You know, if you're here, you're hanging out, you might be liking it. You probably know at least one other person who is like, okay, this is kind of cool. This dude, says stupid stuff sometimes. Let me share it with them. That would be a huge, huge, huge favor to me. So thank you very much for doing that if you do. Getting back to it. Boring PDF. We don't want that. Let's come back to Claude. All right. So here's one I worked on over the weekend. Set up live stream. This is the one we made in the previous live stream. Produce a complete YouTube packaging kit for a live stream, including the title, description, thumbnail concept. And it's an interview-driven skill, gather what's missing, and then generate. And so what it's interesting, it says interview-driven skill. I wonder what other kinds of skills are there. That might be something we ask. Oh, yeah. I should say... tinier. Make it tinier. Oh my gosh. Why does the like command minus just decide not to work sometimes? That's the kind of stuff that drives a dude crazy. You get out of here. Forget you. Forget you. You're not wanted anymore. All right, interview driven. So my question was, the skill says interview driven, which makes sense. That's exactly what I expect. But I guess an alternative might be just output driven, right? It doesn't ask you any questions. It just performs the task that you've laid out. This task specifically requires some extra info. And the reason we want that is that we want to be able to just rip something rough to this skill and have it clean it all up. We are low on time. You know, we need the bot to make up the difference for us. Bridge the gap, buddy. YouTube title. So here we go. Let's get into this. The YouTube title, up to 3 options, present up to 3 title options. This is the context that's being given to the bot in order to generate, along with its whatever data it's been trained on, to come up with a YouTube title. That's where it's drawing its ability from, right? The model that we're using along with the context that we're given it. YouTube title here, present up to 3 title options. 3 is the default. Fewer is fine, genuinely supports. Fewer is fine only if the premise genuinely supports fewer strong angles. The user picks one. Make the options meaningfully distinct, different hooks, angles, and keyword emphases. Don't just tweak things here or there. We want it to feel like 3 distinct options were presented. And it gives an example: 1 search optimized, 1 curiosity driven, 1 descriptor forward. We could probably expand on that list to get different outputs as well. Target 60 to 70 characters each. Cool. We're giving it some constraints here, hard constraints to follow, soft constraints and targeting, and go under 50 when the phrasing is punchy enough. Never exceed 70. That's a hard constraint. It's an important one. As you likely know, once your YouTube title gets too long, it gets truncated. You just get the ... and nobody can read it unless they're on a desktop. And even then, who knows? There's probably a limit there. Follow the brand's title pattern if a profile is loaded. This is the piece that we were hitting earlier that I mentioned to you, is that I did not have a profile loaded. So that's a good one to know. Front load, that's a good idea to point out here, is that we can have this skill maybe start to refine itself, improve itself as it goes based off of our brand and content information. You know, we could build into the system a way for us to give it feedback and log the performance of the actual videos or live streams or social posts, for instance, how they actually do with our audience, so that we can then update the hooks and descriptors or templates that we're pulling from when we're generating. You can kind of see that loop that that we'd be creating there. So that, yeah, YouTube description, front load most searchable terms. This is all. So this is it. I mean, this is what we're working with here in terms of like how it generates a YouTube title, which I think is fine. But we can likely have it. We can likely break that down into even like its own YouTube title skill. So I think that's what we should do next. That way, and then we can have this skill reference that skill. Give me 1 second. My freaking dog. Is the best is what I was going to say. Okay. Hopefully you don't want to hear a drink. So YouTube title, that's a good one that we can bring up. Okay. Going from messy thoughts to video concept is another idea we brought up. Thinking of new ideas for videos, finding high quality clip moments from long form videos. We already got that one. Generate a draft for a newsletter or social post, turning one idea into multiple content assets. Generating a show sheet for a live stream. That's a good one. Refining a rough content idea. Oh, I like that. Kind of like the show sheet idea. That's a good one that could save a lot of time. Refining a rough content idea into a brand aligned content idea. That's a good one. Generating new ideas based off of audience, brand, something in between. Almost all of these require, some brand context, which is that tells me as an engineer, I'm like, okay, well, they're all sharing the same input data. There's likely a way that we can build into these skills. How do we build in our own brand, our specific brand info? So that's an idea we should keep in mind here, keep in the back of our mind. Maybe that's something we ask it to do. Pressure testing whether an idea is actually interesting enough to publish. That's kind of start grouping these into just like, this is like ideas. That's the idea land. Hook generator, turning a concept into an outline. Okay. We're creating a research brief for a topic and generating interview questions so you're going to do an interview of somebody. Generate me interview question. That's another good area where I feel like the creator should probably spend a little bit more time or that's a really good one. Have the AI generate interview questions for you. And then you take those questions, like use that to brainstorm into your own questions. That could be great. Creating call to action options aligned to content goal. Oh, okay. I like that. Let's go with, I think, YouTube title, going from messy thoughts to a video concept. This one feels kind of like an idea. And this one's also an idea. And this one's also an idea. Tons of idea-based ones. Hook generator. Okay. Get rid of this. Some of these are live stream specific. More ideas. By the way, if you got some area of your workflow that you want to make into a skill, but you're not really sure how, throw it in the chat. We can think through it together. Generate a draft. So this is like this is an idea. This one's like draft first, rough draft, like first draft. What am I trying to say here? Generate first draft. Draft is a noun and a verb. Draft first draft. This kind of falls into that. And this one, I don't know how to grab. This is live stream. Oh, there's something that feels good about organizing stuff into categories. Hook generator. That's a. Oh wait, both of these are. Get rid of that. All right, so I think we got a couple here. Let's go with this title one first. All right, so we're gonna go back. So we got clip. Oh yeah, and then clip finder was the other one that we had. We're gonna use the skill creator skill, which is built into Claude, and you can see the actual prompt that's being given to it. That if you want to look into this to understand how it's working, but it's essentially going to do what the setup live stream skill does. It's going to interview us. and we're going to talk through it. I'm going to give it some information. It's going to be like, all right, well, you got to tell me more about that. And then it's going to go ahead and do all the heavy lifting for us so that we don't have to read this really boring PDF that Claude put out. It's not boring, but it's, you know, it's probably boring to like 90% of the people that I talk to. It's not that boring to me, but I get it. I get why it is boring. It would be boring to me if my life didn't depend on it. But this, you know, Claude puts out, Anthropic, the company that makes Claude, puts out a ton of good documentation and stuff on how to create skills, how to use them within their ecosystem and stuff. And skills are not specific to Claude. You can build skills for all of the AI models, all the popular ones out there. They use this skill, this open source, this like general skill standard to how to set up skills so that you can use them across these different platforms. If you make one of these in Claude, like we made a couple of these in Claude, you can go ahead and download them directly from Claude and upload them directly to ChatGPT to use them over there, which is a good way to do it so that you don't get locked into any one of these vendors. Claude and OpenAI, Claude and ChatGPT are good for different things. In some specific use cases, you'll get just a better response for what you're looking for from one or the other. For instance, Claude is specifically Claude Code is really good at the code stuff. When I'm having to build stuff, it's very good at that piece of it. The ChatGPT, much better at like strategizing and thinking through stuff. Some of the more high level abstract tasks I find ChatGPT is much better for. So just keep that in mind. You can use these across that. Okay, so going back to Claude, we're going to use this and we're going to make a new one. So you can come here and you hit the plus, browse skills. What's this? Oh, I think we did look at this before. This is like ones that you could add in. Anthropic and partners. There's just a few of them. Doc co-authoring, internal comms, brand guidelines, no. Theme factory, no. Skill creator, we downloaded this one. This one's awesome. Highly recommend it. So let's go ahead and create a new skill. Create with Claude. Write skill instructions, upload a skill. This is where if you made it on OpenAI or you made it on ChatGPT, you can come to Claude, upload it via Claude right here. Or you can write it from scratch, go read that boring PDF, and then learn how to write effective skills. You don't even have to. This PDF or Claude's documentations will tell you how to really construct the prompt from scratch. The shortcut is using Claude to write the skill, which is fine. You know, it's a good way to get something going. You know, 80-20 rule basically. Create with Claude. Let's do that. All right, let's create a skill together using the skill creator skill. First, ask me what skill we should do. No, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to use your creator skill, and let's create a skill. The skill. Here, I got it. Design the skill to generate highly effective YouTube titles. Highly effective, but does it know what that means? Highly effective or highly converting, we'll say. Converting highly effective, highly converting YouTube titles. When given a rough initial title. I don't know. That's not that great. But this is why you use the skill. It's going to interview you and be like, dude, this is not your best work. Let's get you there. Thank you, Claude. I know. Let's get me there. Okay, so now it's loading up the skill creator skill, and this is how skills work. Lots of skills. This is how skills work. If you weren't with us in the first live stream in the series, where we're going into skills and what are the components of it, what's the background. The reason why skills are useful is that Claude doesn't, like whatever instance of Claude that you're using, the specific AI that process that you've started, it doesn't have to read through and know or load up all of the information from all of its skills. You could have like 100 different skills for 100 different tasks within your workflow. And Claude can work in a lightweight way where it doesn't need to load all of those up. It's going to load up just like a portion of the metadata around it. So that's going to be like the title and the description, and it's going to just have access to that. And then it's going to selectively invoke that skill when the situation calls for it. Either it realizes that it can imply that from the label that you've given it whenever you've created it, and the situation it's currently in or whatever it's trying to solve. For instance, that could be like, hey, give me a great YouTube title for this live stream where we're building AI skills. I could give it just that piece of information, and it could pull up what it knows how to create good YouTube titles, and then it can pull up what it knows about my YouTube audience or this brand and combine the two to create valuable magic for me. So how many title variants should it produce per request? This is a good question. 1 best title, 3 variants, 5 variants, 5+ with different angles. 5+ starts to feel like a lot of work. I tend to like to follow the rule of 3s. I'm a entertainment guy and designer guy. So the rule of 3s is, basically tattooed on my forehead. And one, I just don't trust that it's going to be able to judge which one is the best. So I tend to always want it to generate 3, because if it generates 3, then I can at least know, like, I can better triangulate what it's trying to do and whether it did the thing I was trying to ask it to do correctly. Regardless of how, like, all 3 could suck, and that tells me, all right, we're way off. Or just 2 could suck, and that tells me that we're still way off. But only 1 could suck, and I'm like, all right, that one was a bad one, but these other 2 are pretty solid, and I see what it's trying to go for. Let's go for those. So let's do 3. Should it ask about video context, niche, audience, hook before generating? Only ask if title is too vague. Never ask. Just generate. So there's another trade-off question. Do we want to generate more work? Because we have to respond. We're the ones that are going to have to answer. Only ask if title is too vague, or never ask, just generate. Let's think about our use cases here. Like, when do we actually want to use the skill? It's when we're coming in here and we have an idea for a video. It's often, like I mentioned before, I'd love to load up my brand context so that I don't have to do that every time. But just for the sake of simplicity, we could just say that, that's getting loaded up. We could either have Claude try to imply that from the title that we're giving it. If I give it a title, creating AI skills to solve content creation headaches, whatever, and it's just some rough idea, and it can take that and be like, all right, he's talking about his creator CTO channel. This live stream is not for the Front Yard Fantasy channel, which is about fantasy football and not about AI skills. That's a situation we could build into this, but I like to start at the simplest spot and then just build outwards towards complexity here. So let's just say always ask first. I hesitate to only ask if title is too vague. Never ask, just generate. I don't like that. That would be if we wanted to have less work. Let's just go the middle ground. Niche focus, general purpose, any niche, tuned for a specific niche. I'll specify. Let's do that. Welcome in, chat. Welcome in. Good. What's the niche? All right, well, we're creating the skill. So the niche may change depending on the video idea and which brand it's going under. All in a day's work. This is work now. It's just talking to bots. This is what the future of work looks like. Telling bots to do the work. While it's doing that, let's go ahead over here. Yeah, act as an expert in content creation. Come up with 10 high leverage yielding use cases that can be extracted into AI skills. High value AI skills for content creators. All right, messy idea to sharp content concept. We already got that one, dude. I should have given it our previous ones. Multi-asset, dude. Creator voice, brand style, draft copy or AI generate output, rewritten version in the creator's actual voice with tone rules, phrases. That's a good one. I don't know if we have that one. Add that to the list. Yeah, refining first draft, generate first draft. No, that's not. It's like this is a new one. This is like this is more editing. Edit. Research, that's another one. Generate, that's over here. So you can kind of see these like rough categories that we're starting to coalesce around for different types of tasks. You can do this with your own workflow and find out where these different pieces are and how they kind of break down. It'll give you a better idea of like on a meta level what your workflow is and how you can automate it better. And as always, if you have questions on AI or you're building something cool with AI chat, please throw it in the chat. I love seeing this cool stuff. It's cool talking to other builders, cool talking to other people using AI, other content creators, that sort of thing. So please, you don't have to suffer in silence. Creating call to action options aligned with content goal is probably generate too. Yeah. Yep. I'm new to using this Obsidian software. It's all right. Used it a long time ago, but did not get super into it. So going back here, YouTube package optimizer, got that one. Content calendar from Strategical. So this is one I've been using on my own, or building out in my own personal workflow. That's probably worth doing a stream about or a video about. It's super useful. So like basically set up a live stream, but I need to set up live streams for a whole week. I want to be able to plan an entire week of live streams of topics that we talk about that are all going to kind of go upwards into the brand. So that's a good one for us to put into our lists. And that probably goes into like strategy, branding strategy. Whoa, stop making it so big, Claude. Hook plus opening line generator. That's a good one. Hook generator. Okay. All right. Opening line generator. Never mind. We already had it. Dummy. Audience pain mining skill. That's a good one. This goes into the like research. Wow. No. Make a skill to make that not happen. Yep. Oh, that's a good one. We'll build that one out. Newsletter drafting system. That could be good. We ain't got a newsletter yet, but we can put that one in here. That's a good one to solve eventually. Content quality editor, make it worth publishing. So this would be more in the editor role. Draft script, post newsletter outline. Oh my God, it's huge. Offer-aware content strategists. Creators, products, service, audience, content ideas that naturally lead toward demand. That's a fire idea. That's like content branding, strategy, planning, generate. I guess that's offer-aware content. That's strategy, branding strategy. Big. I knew it. Okay, let's see how Claude's doing over here. Okay, got it. Niche, got it. Niche brand is per request input. I'll bake that into the skill so it can flex. Flex for me, Claude. Draft is done. Let me check the packaging script. Package. Okay, here it is. Generate 3 high converting YouTube title variants from a rough title or video idea using each distinct angle. Curiosity gap. YouTube title optimizer. Oh wait, let's read the rest of this. Using each angle, curiosity gap, specific outcomes. So it's giving formats, like format archetypes for it to follow, which is good. Those types of things are used by a lot of different channels because they work well. They are good at getting people interested, and really that's what motivates people to act, which is, in this case, we want them to click into the video and watch it. Including phrasing like title for my next video, make this better, punch up this title. So it's giving it, cool, it's giving it specific situations in which to invoke the skill, or if we specifically ask it, or when we paste a video description, topic, or hook, and ask for title ideas, mentioning the click-through rate, which is CTR, thumbnails, and titles or names of the YouTube brand they're titling for. So that's great. We're going to have it so that the other one uses this. How to generate 3 titles. Produce 3 titles, each in a different strategy, drawn from the menu below. Here's the lists. Cool. Match angle to the hook. A reveal style video should not get a list format. A how-to should. So give it some more. I love this. It gave it some more information around, like, all right, these aren't all interchangeable. You have to think about the context of the video, what we're actually making and trying to communicate here, and match it to, so that the hook and the video, the packaging, the title all match up together. Which is excellent. This is what you'd have to pay a YouTube coach or consultant to do in the past, in the old days. Hard constraints. These exist because how YouTube actually displays ranks and titles. Yeah, and here's the exact constraints we were talking about earlier. We don't want it to get truncated. Don't reuse the same focal phrase across 2 titles. I like that. And then here it gives a specific output format that we're looking for. If you wanted to tweak this, like, we'll see if we don't like this, and we can go in and just have it change it. A specific idea of, like, when the rough title should just be, we shouldn't have it just come up with an idea, even if it's not good enough. If we give it fire, we don't want it creating something else from it, right? We want it just being like, yo, you cooked, brother. You don't need me. I've taught you all I've needed to teach you. I've taught you all I can. And that's what we're looking for. We want it to be honest and keep in mind the goal. We're trying together to reach the best title. And here's some different niche calibration. I like this too. Just general ways to kind of change it or understand how to write a good title. I want to give it some maybe specific examples, which I do have somewhere here. Let's see. Open. So I'm pulling up this. I have this skill written somewhere else, and I'm pulling up the reference so that I can pass it. Oh, yeah. And so in a previous one, I passed it something like, to give it specific examples, here's some specific title formula examples. And we'll give it like title outcome first, how to blank in blank, number of steps to blank, the result, fastest way to result, problem first stop. So just give it some more specific info. I highly recommend too, if you make a skill like this, if you follow these steps, you make something like this, go in and tweak it continually, like iterate on it by adding, going in and adding these different rules that are specific to your use case and your tastes. Uh, what it comes up with initially is not bad, it's smart, but it's not the best, and it's going to get better. So it's also one in which you should probably revisit your skills like every few months to see if the bot can come up with a even better version of it. I think it generated these from a list I had of high converting YouTube titles. I think that came from Colin and Samir, that YouTube channel. But you can find context like that, like go find an expert who knows something on something and then pass it to the skill. It's another way to get more effect, like better output, more effective output. Okay, so it's going to update this for us. Damn, time flies when you're having so much fun with Claude Skills. Okay, so it did that's a little bit annoying. Like it took away some of the archetypes or like strategies that it initially came up with. I wish it would have just left it as opposed to not like, okay, let's restructure around the four. It's like assuming that I was saying the four of these are what I'm looking for, which is fine, I guess. But I would probably change this if as I tweak it. So let's see what it came up with. Generate 3 high converting YouTube title optimizers looks the same. Hook payoff, each brand, how to generate the 3. Okay, let's just tell it. Keep some of the other strategies if they're still relevant. Include them in the list of the 4 buckets I gave you. And fill them out with examples like the 4 buckets. So the 4 buckets are problem first, curiosity gap, outcome first, contrarian, supplementary. Okay, it did include supplementary. Dang it. List with the twist. List with the twist. Okay, so it's going to take these 3 and fill out with like it did for these with specific examples. Another thing you can do with the skill is add in, go in and add in past examples. So like if it does a really good job on one and you think of it in the moment, take whatever you gave to it, take whatever it gave to you, and have it work that back into the skill as an example so that it can follow that path in the future. And in the same way, do that for ones that are like this did not work and use it as a bad example. I need some more thumb, or what do you call those, headshots. We'll do that one next, later this week. Although I think OpenAI's API had a big leap forward in its image gen. And so it's on my list of, I would love to be able to generate YouTube thumbnails automatically. Oh my God, that's the holy grail. Takes so much annoying time to generate it, to make the right thumbnail for something, for YouTube, for optimized. Where'd you go? Okay, done. All 7 strategies are now set at the same level. Excellent. Outcome first, problem first, curiosity gap, contrarian, contrast, transformation, authority reveal the real reason X happens. What actually do for, hell, that's cool. Topic, the part everyone leaves out. I dropped personal stakes as a separate bucket since the personal stakes formula listed. I tested blank for blank lives under your curiosity gap. Cool. Excellent. All right, let's save this. Saved. Now we got this YouTube title optimizer. You know what? Let's go back and let's say YouTube. Can you alter the setup live stream skill to use the YouTube title optimizer skill that we just created? Subscale. Okay. Deliberating. It's going to give us its opinion. Let me check the references folder so I know what else is in this skill and confirm the read-only situation. Yeah, let us know. This would be sweet if we can just kind of build up like a little system, like a little hierarchy of skills. That'd be sweet. And then they just, some of them invoke each other. Maybe like a little graph of skills, so that we can tweak each part of it, as opposed to having to honestly, it's going to become harder and harder. The more you add to a skill, or like the more that it has to handle, the harder it is going to be to test for quality and improve for quality over time across the smaller details. So it's another reason why I'm intrigued to set up or architect the skills this way, where, you know, one is using the other one, and one's just optimized for titles, because then I can really hone in over time and add in specific rules for creating good titles based off of my experience, based off of my research, based off of my life making content. But that would be harder to do if I left that in the setup live stream skill prompt, and then it'd be a little bit harder to figure out, okay, let's change this one detail in here. Let me run that setup live stream skill, and then like to really know whether it's giving me better output overall, and if that's because of the change I made. Okay, so what changed in setup live stream? Title generation now delegates to YouTube title optimizer. It tells the skills to read the optimizer SKILL.md and use its strategy library formulas and hard constraints. Sweet. Workflow gained a step. Load the YouTube title optimizer, sits right after loading the brand profile before clarifying questions. Live stream specific overrides layered on top of the optimizer. Brand title pattern wins. Okay. Yep. So it's saying bias towards video on demand discoverability, since live viewership is mostly notification driven, which is true, which is facts. Strict no emoji rule. Yes. Output format keeps the setup live streams compact. 1, 2, 3 plus. Okay, cool. So I wonder if we just save that, replace it. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and update it, replace it, and manage. And what you could do is, right now these all live in Claude, right? This is in my Claude, attached to my Claude account on the Claude desktop app is where this thing lives. You saw after this combo, after we made the skill, it offered us the option to download, save skill. I hit save skill. That saved it to Claude under my account. When you want to use these across platform, you need to download this. And it's just going to download all the files related to that, related to the skill. And you want to do that into a folder where you have your other skills, and you want to put that in you want to put that, make that a GitHub repository so that you can track the changes over time, and you can use these skills across computers. You can use these skills across your platforms, all that. And so if not, if the GitHub is like the more engineer route, you could also just put it in iCloud, put it in a cloud-backed system so that you at least are working on the same files, you are working on the same skills, and you don't have to redo this across every system, every computer, all that. All right. Setup live stream now uses the YouTube title optimizer. Yeah, YouTube title optimizer skill. We now have successfully created our sub skill, and we can go ahead and do that for the other sub steps too of setup live stream. If you remember, that was give us a title, generate options for a title, and ultimately you're going to give us an optimized YouTube title that we choose, optimize or YouTube thumbnail concept, and the third thing is a YouTube description. And so all three of those we can break down into their own subtasks. We're not going to do that today. I wanted to show you the title example, and then we could do more of that on future streams. But yeah, hopefully you found some value in that and you start using skills on your own. Hey, come back in here and let me know if you make some skills. You watch this, you must be interested in making some AI skills. And so come back and report back. Tell me what, how it went, what you actually made, and if it's changing your life. If it's changing your life, if it's that good, I need to know. And we'll just keep cooking on some of these, keep making skills, keep building these products out using AI, and we'll learn together. Where was that gonna go with that? Where did that go? YouTube title soon. Okay, let me pull this down. Oh no, I wanted to show this. And if you haven't already, please, 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 please do me a favor. Go check out Creator CTO, my new YouTube channel, and share it with one person that you think would like it. Just a single person. I'm gonna start ramping up live streams and videos on this channel, and so any help sharing it, greatly appreciated. And if there's anything else you want to learn on AI or you want me to do on these live streams, hit me up, hit me in the DMs. I wanna hear it. All right. Until then, until tomorrow, we'll see you. Goodbye. Thanks for joining.